They stole it from me, Carmen. They stole it. That was today. Do you know that meme?
No.
Oh wait.
Well,
cut that out.
I vaguely know it. I don't know what it's from.
Honey, where are my
Studs.
pants?
All right, Aiden. If you could only watch one Lego YouTuber for the rest of your entire life, past and present, so like you can only go back and watch their videos, and you can watch their new videos, who you watching? What's that YouTuber?
Well, welcome to the Where Are My Studs podcast. You forgot that part.
Oh.
You know, but
Welcome to the Where Are My Studs podcast. I am Brendan.
and I'm Aidan.
And yeah, so if you could only watch one Lego YouTuber.
Yeah, say it again in case I forgot.
Okay, yeah, wait.
Just one YouTuber, and this is including current and past.
Yeah.
And future too, right?
Yeah, so you might want to choose someone that's still making videos.
Okay. Well, besides the obvious answer of you.
Stop it.
Nah, I'm just playing.
That would be crazy.
Or am I?
I don't know why. I feel like there's some better options.
You don't have enough content where it would be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. Okay, I'm gonna narrow it down to 3 people, and then I'll pick one from there. So, Cheesy Studios, obviously, that's no surprise to you that I'm throwing that name in there.
That was in mine as well.
I'd throw RR Slugger in there.
That was in mine as well.
Okay, here's the thing. There's like the Lego YouTubers where I like intently watch the whole video, and then there's ones where I put them on for background noise, and it's just perfect for that for like an hour.
I think podcasts are really good for that.
Yeah. Well, okay, it's not a Lego channel, but the This or That Star Wars channel is like one of my favorite things for that.
Dude.
I'm gonna scroll
this
through
or that. Amazing channel.
Dude, for real. For real. If you guys haven't listened to it, it's the second best podcast out there, so you guys all should.
They're definitely different vibes.
I'm buying time as I scroll through my subscriptions right now, because I feel like there's one that I watch that I'm just absolutely forgetting. I used to watch a lot of generic stud, not as much anymore now.
I'm gonna throw in my last pick would be Nick from Planet Ripple. I love his retrospectives.
I just read that name like right as you said it. That was really weird.
Those are my 3. Would be either Cheesy, RR, or Nick. I think Cheesy would be mine because I think that's the most long lasting. I could see Slugger eventually ending it, just like from the vibes I get. I don't know him personally, but anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's like... Yeah, they gotta keep producing content, so that's the thing. So there's like a few in here that I'm like, I like when they make stuff, but they don't make a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think RR Slugger and Cheesy Studios would be the narrowed down one, and then I would probably pick Cheesy, honestly, over RR Slugger.
Yep.
Loki, because his vibe is just so perfect. Like, I fall asleep to his stuff all the time at night. It's just like so like soothing in a way. The way that he edits it, I really like it.
He is definitely probably my second favorite Lego YouTuber. Slugger's is my favorite, but Cheesy is
that makes sense.
Just the production value. But anyways, so for those that don't know, we recorded 2 episodes that were well received, as I found out in person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we took a few months off after that, but obviously they just came out for all of you guys, so now we are back to trying to record. We're trying to release an episode every other week. So I know there was a few folks that were like, "Oh my God, they're never gonna upload again when we missed the next Monday," but no, it's just trying to hit every other week. We'll see if we can handle that. But
yeah.
So we don't have much of a topic today because A, me and Aiden haven't talked in a few weeks, and then B, I went to Atlanta BrickCon, but Aiden, I don't know if you want to say what you did.
So I, through a company that my professor runs, while also partnering with Athletes in Action, got a chance to go to New Orleans for 6 days leading up to the Super Bowl, where I got to interview players, coaches, broadcasters, other people in media, and that's what I was doing last week. Still a little tired from it, but it was a blast. It was so much fun.
Yeah. He made a guest appearance on the Pat McAfee show, who I'm a big fan of because I like wrestling. So
Pat McAfee, actually.
Pat McAfee, whatever.
Okay, and it wasn't a guest appearance. It's not like I showed up on the set and he interviewed me. Like I was because our friend Garrett actually posted on his story that he saw me like in a shot
Yeah.
from Pat McAfee that he was just casually watching.
Where My
So that's
Studs
pretty
is
funny.
officially recognized, but
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's what we've been up to. So I know I have tons of new opinions on Lego conventions. It's crazy.
Mhm.
But you told me you got some dad lore at the Super Bowl. I want to let you go first. Talk about the Super Bowl. Tell me about your journey.
Dude, the crazy thing is it's all such a blur. I guess I'll go chronologically because that's the easiest. So we got in the Sunday night before the Super Bowl, so a full week before the Super Bowl, and then our first actual media time was on Monday night. And for that, it's called opening night. And what it is you actually go onto the field of the stadium where they play the Super Bowl on, and you just go up, and that's the first time you get a chance to interview players. And that's the one time that every single player is available for an interview. But how it works is the most popular players, like your Patrick Mahomes, your Travis Kelce, and like those players, they're in booths around, like press conference booths that you've seen on like news and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like 12 of those all around the field, but everybody else is just wandering all around, and you have to go and run up and like try to get them for an interview.
Was that a big deal to
So-
you as like a big football fan? Like
So
being
yeah,
able to
I've been
meet him?
watching football since I was like 6 years old. So and like nobody else on my team really cared as much as I did. One other guy like cared enough where he actually like knew players' names and stuff. Like everybody else didn't know anything. So I was like the reference for everything that people would go to, which was pretty funny. But yeah, we mainly the network that we worked for is called FSPN, and it focuses on faith, family, and football. So we more so talk to the players about their like lives and stuff instead of, hey, when you got a jet sweep on the 40-yard line in this one wild card game, how did that make you feel? Like that's not what we were talking about with them. We were like, what does your family mean to you? Talk about your family, and just so that was fun to get to know players on a more like personal level.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, on the first night, I got put on wandering around with another one of the persons on my media team. Me and her wandered around and got interviews with the Eagles while they were out. And then the Eagles went back in after an hour, and then the Chiefs came out, and I actually got put on being on the Patrick Mahomes camera for the full hour, and that's a pretty big deal because he's gonna go down as like a top 3 football player of all time. Heck, Brendan, you probably even know
I know who he
who
is.
Patrick Mahomes is. Yeah, and you don't follow football at all.
Nope.
So, but we got there so early that we were one of the cameras that was at the very front. Like I was 5 feet away from him, and that was just a pretty crazy experience to have on just the first night. And dude, I tried to get a question off, but I just couldn't because it was like my first time in a press conference setting. So now looking back on it after doing a lot more of them, I definitely could have. But man, like you're just yelling their name, hoping that they looked at you. And he actually made eye contact with me once, and I just didn't get the question off fast enough. So I didn't get a chance to actually directly interview him. But I was like there for the press conference for the whole hour. So every question somebody asked me at the Super Bowl, I was there for. I heard. It was really weird seeing stuff on social media afterwards and being like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was a really weird feeling.
You're like, I remember that. That was an hour ago.
Yeah. And I came into the Super Bowl absolutely hating the Chiefs and especially Patrick Mahomes. But after that experience and like just listening to him talk for an hour, like he's actually a genuinely good guy who like cares about his family. And like, yeah, is he a crybaby on the field sometimes? Yes, but we all have our faults. And just talking to Chiefs players throughout the week too, actually made me where I was actually went into the Super Bowl being like, I'd be fine if the Chiefs won this game, which is a feeling I've not had for like 4 years. So that was really weird. And then, of course, I don't know if you watched the Super Bowl, Brendan, but
I
they got
did.
absolutely blown out.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Um,
I know how you feel, but we were all very happy at the hotel.
yeah, I was fine with either team winning because the Eagles also have some really cool guys. Like we got to talk to their long snapper. I don't know if you know, but the NFL does this thing called My Cause, My Cleats, which is where players can wear cleats like supporting nonprofits and organizations. And the Eagles long snapper talked about how him and his wife lost a child halfway through a pregnancy, and how that's one that they support is an organization that walks by people who go through that. And then he talked about how I think he just had a kid like 3 months ago, and that was like a big deal and a big blessing for them. So it was like very humanizing for these athletes I've been like watching like my whole life. And then obviously like especially as a kid, you put them up on a like a pedestal, and then you get to talk to them and you realize they're just completely normal guys, who each have their own like life outside of football, their own heartbreaks, their own hardships. So that was really cool. So when I was watching the game actually on Sunday, it was weird because I would like see like a player pop up on the screen. I was like, oh, I remember this guy. He's really cool. I remember this one conversation I had with him. So that was a weird feeling when watching a football game. So it just really humanized it throughout the whole week.
That sounds like fun. I mean, I'm not a football fan. But I actually assume a lot of the people that listen actually are. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's America's most popular sport,
yeah.
so that would make sense. But outside of actually interviewing the players, there was a lot more too. I guess I'll just touch on a few highlights. One of the biggest highlights was so there's this thing called Radio Row at the Super Bowl, and imagine a Lego convention, Brendan, but twice as big, and it's all like Brickworld Chicago, but 2 times the size of the convention hall, maybe in 3 times.
Hmm.
And it's all of the big shows out there like Fox, Pat McAfee, ESPN, FanDuel, Bounty, DraftKings. Like all of those are all there. They all have their own live shows set up. And then there's also and those are all on the side walls of the convention hall. And then in the middle, there's 200 smaller like live streams and shows that are running inside of there, and we were one of those.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
that that was pretty crazy because you just walk around and there's just celebrities everywhere. Like I'll just look to my right randomly and there's Terry Crews. Like that's just how it was like the whole weekend. Um, and then I accidentally bumped into the Packers running back, which I'm a huge Packers fan, so that was a pretty funny experience to have. And man, it's just crazy because you're just walking around trying to get an interview with an NFL player once you recognize them, and you're just waiting for them to finish their interview. And then the second that they're done with it, you just run up to them and be like, hey, do you have time for an interview right now? Unfortunately, we actually didn't get any of them. I have some plans for next year on how we'll probably try to go about it after like knowing how it works a little better.
Hmm.
But one of the people we did get to interview at our booth was actually Patrick Mahomes' agent, which was really cool. And then he actually invited us to his private party
What?
at it was pretty sick. It was on Saturday, so the day before the Super Bowl, and it was in the New Orleans Jazz Museum. And dude, like the parties you see on TVs, like that's what it was like.
Like one
There
of those
was
like super
a
rich ones, like
Yeah, it was
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Like there's just couches all over the lawn where you're supposed to sit down and just talk to random people. There's food everywhere. There's 3 live performances going in completely separate areas. They had their own vinyl shop with vinyls that were exclusive to the party, like not just to the Jazz Museum. Like you could only get them at the party, and we didn't have to pay to get in or anything like it. This was entirely free. So I just went around, got some good food, networked there. And then I guess another party we went to was Tuesday night of that week. We had the media party where they actually built all the floats for Mardi Gras, which was super cool. It was a huge venue. Like I think over 7,000 people were there concurrently, and whatever food you wanted, you could find there for free. I tried oyster for the first time. Absolute garbage, bro. I
It
don't
doesn't
like
look
those.
good.
No, and then they had like alligators you could hold and like a snake and stuff. Um, there was just there was huge, pretty big jazz bands I found out once I looked them up on Spotify. Like each of them had almost like 1 million monthly listeners because obviously it's New Orleans, so jazz is a big deal down there. So those were playing, and there was like all the floats were all around us. Like normal life is so boring, dude. After having an experience like
You got a
this,
taste of the
like
rich life.
I know, like I got to live like a rich person for a week, which that was the biggest surprise to me because I was expecting like, all right, we're just gonna be at press conferences, we're gonna be editing at the Airbnb when we get back. Oh, and then speaking of the Airbnb, it was like straight in the hood of New Orleans, so there was a bar straight across the street, and the walls were paper thin, so we could hear it at like 3 a.m. and there was this like party bus that would drive by, and the bass from the party bus would literally shake the house. It was crazy, but anyways, we got to meet our next door neighbor who actually run the bar. And after talking to them, they told us that they ran the bar to be able to afford cookouts for the entire neighborhood 4 nights a week, where they do steak for the whole neighborhood. And then the night when we talked to them, it was crawfish for the whole neighborhood. So they just gave us like 5 huge boxes of crawfish that we got to eat that night.
This is crazy.
Like every day just had something crazy. Oh, we got to go to the Super Bowl halftime show press conference, which was Kendrick Lamar, who's obviously huge in American pop culture right now, with his beef with Drake, and that was crazy. That's the one that like a lot of people find cool when I talk to them about it, because people who don't care about football usually care about music at least. And that was pretty cool. And yeah, off the top, like there's so many like small stories I could talk about, but that we could be here for like 3 hours. But those are definitely some of the highlights, I'd say.
Well, now what I was going to talk about is so much lamer than anything you just said. It involves Legos.
Maybe not to the listeners considering our demographic, but
That's crazy. Well, the Super Bowl from my perspective was just Sunday night. A bunch of us were watching the Super Bowl in I believe Caleb's room. And I was like half watching it.
I mean, yeah, it got kind of boring after like the second quarter, man, because it was just a blowout.
That sounds. Was there any? I assume nothing Lego anything happened on that trip. That'd be a little bit of a shocker.
I don't know if actually Rod talked to you about this, but there was a point where we were gonna try to get Rodrigo Blankenship on our live stream, but it just didn't end up working out. So that's like, which is funny because like he's part of the Lego community, and that's like how I had a contact with him through Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have been the only Lego related thing. Nothing else that I actually there is one small Lego related story. So the one thing we didn't get credentials for was NFL honors, and do you know what that is,
I
Brandon?
do not know what that is. Would you like to explain it?
Okay, that's where they hand out like the most valuable player award and like all of those awards, like offensive player of the year and stuff like that.
Sure.
So we didn't get credentials this year, at least not enough for our whole team to go. And apparently the last time that we got credentials for it, somebody on our team asked Joe Namath, do you know who that is?
I do not.
He started at quarterback in the third Super Bowl in like 1968. So he's pretty old. And they asked him what his favorite Bionicle was.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
What a dumb thing to ask.
So my personal theory is that's why we don't get enough credentials, but I don't know if that's actually true. But yeah, so that's the only semi Lego related thing, I guess. Oh, my birthday happened while I was there, which was pretty crazy.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And then we went to Walmart for my birthday to get a cake, and I just like went to the Lego aisle like normal, and they had some pretty good clearance, but I was like, I can't do this. I can't even fit this in my luggage, so it's kind of sad.
Well, don't worry.
But yeah,
There'll be
that's
plenty of
about it.
time soon for Lego, but I guess we can talk about that at
Yep.
the end of the podcast. But
Yep.
so on the opposite side of not the world, actually, it was only about 6 hours. You were only about 6 hours away from me, if less
I know,
than
that's
that.
what's crazy. Yeah.
Atlanta BrickCon was going on. Woo! Um,
Yay.
and that was an interesting convention. Fun, but interesting.
How so?
I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far. Um, I don't know how to. So like the thing about Atlanta BrickCon is when we talked about Brick Fair, the amount of people that go to Brick Fair is insane. That exhibit there.
Yep.
Versus, I can literally name every single person that exhibited at Atlanta, and like all of them, I'm friends with. So like there was like no like really new people. We had
Are you talking about just at the Empire Lug booth?
yeah
Or
yeah.
okay, I thought about the whole convention. I was like, there's no way.
We had Caleb and his wife. We had David Hall. We had Matt. There's Blaine's brother Anthony, Lee, Ethan, Isaac, Kennedy, Aaron. I believe that literally might have been every single person at the Empire Lug booth. But just to make sure, I'm gonna check pictures real quick.
Wasn't Benji there?
Oh, and Ben. I don't know how I didn't forget about Ben, considering I'm hanging out with him soon. But yeah, I believe that's just about everyone that was at the. Oh, and Levi, Ben and Levi. Those are the two, because we had 12. There was 12 people at the Empire Lug booth this year. The booth was so small, dude. It was so tiny this year. But it was a good time. It was a good time, but I don't know. It was just a good time. There's not too much specifics of like all the crazy stuff that happened. I'm sure I could jog my memory to get more of it back, but like it was just a solid convention. It was fun.
Did you do anything outside of the con?
We visited the Lego store, went out to eat a few places, but yeah, no, not really. Me and Aaron and Kennedy went shooting. That was fun.
Oh, that's pretty fun.
But that's about it. It was a really chill con. But I was sad you weren't there. It was my first time being there without any other like Bulge member. Completely all alone. I was abandoned.
How was the yard sale?
The yard sale was fine. The Atlanta yard sale's never really that great, but I did get 2 adventurer sets, which were pretty cool. They're the Dino Island like trapper set and the plane from Dino Island.
How much do you get them for? Because those are usually pretty cheap anyways.
70 combined,
Okay.
which is probably pretty close to what Bricklink charged. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like anything else. I got Vader's TIE Fighter from Atlanta Brick Co. the other day.
The 2009 or 8 one?
2009 one, yeah, the 10th anniversary one. I got that, so I'm about to do that retrospective. And I also... Oh, Bridget got me the Hellfire droid for Valentine's Day.
Which one?
The 2008 one.
Okay. The Clone Wars one?
Yep. So...
I have almost all the pieces to that. I just need a few more, and then I'm gonna build that.
But yeah, that's like that section of... I guess that's the last week of everything, really.
Yeah.
But... I'm trying to think, what else do we have to talk about? All right, that's it. Thank you for joining. Where am I?
No, well, you said you have some different takes on Lego cons, and that's what I'm really curious to hear.
Yeah. So, okay, this is. I want to talk about this, but I don't want to talk about it in a way that's like talking down upon these types of people. I have a different view of Lego influencers, like the cringy ones
okay.
you think of. Like, I have a completely different view because my initial view was a little bit more, like, hostile and a little bit more like, turn your nose up at them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, after getting to talk to some of the people that, like, again, are, like, the stereotypical TikTok influencers, so many of them are just, like, they're really just our people. They're just people. I don't, like, think nearly as negative about them as I used to. They're pretty chill. I mean, I don't know all of them, of course, but... it was something simple like that. Just getting to talk to many of them at that party specifically, just because a bunch of them were there. I was like, oh wait, all of you guys are actually people and are cool. I wish, and then made me go like, dang, you guys don't deserve as much hate as you get.
Yeah, I guess me and you had that similar theme then of just realizing that these people we see online and on TV are just normal people.
Yeah.
But I know that at least for like the TikToker Lego influencer crowd, a lot of their content is like very much like run up to people, talk super fast, all that stuff. And I had to do some amount of that, so I actually understand how, and that is not who I am as a person at all. So I do understand how like sometimes you just have to do things for content, and it's like not who you are. Not that it means like anybody's being inauthentic, but it can be draining. So I actually give those people a lot of respect for how often they have to do it, especially if they're an introvert.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. The con was just a good time. It was just like, I mean, it's exactly what, in my opinion, Brick Fair 2024 was, which is just like, yep, that was fun. I've enjoyed my time here. And that's about it. Like, that's
Yeah.
the end of it. But it's weird because
I mean, it's just another con at this point.
yeah,
It's now like a crazy thing.
it truly is just, oh, yep, it's another Lego convention. I've done this before. I'll probably do it again. There's like no like wonder to it anymore, which is just unfortunately part of getting older. And well, not even getting older, but just doing them more. Doing like, this is my 8th convention, I think, at this point, like major Lego convention. So it's just it's really just run of the mill, you know, type of thing.
Have they already announced that they're doing Atlanta again next year?
Yeah, of course.
I'm assuming it's on the same weekend.
Definitely. You're not gonna be able to go.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Did you just
That's
say
so sad.
womp womp? So I also kind of want to touch on that. I've started becoming a lot more sour on old Lego, but it's not for reasons.
Interesting.
It's
Who are you and what did you do with Brendan?
I love old Lego, and I dislike a lot of modern Lego. But man, it gets exhausting buying old Lego sets, especially the fact that the Lego sets I'm buying are almost like 15 years old now, which is terrifying to think about. It's just the fact that, like, so often you'll get these.
Is it price or
No, no,
how
no.
hard it is to go out and get them?
It's not either of those. It's just the fact that, like,
Mm.
you're not getting a brand new sealed set unless you're paying tons of money. Then you have to deal with brittle
Yeah.
brown. Then you have to deal with the fact that old Lego is just a different beast. The quality control was not nearly as good as it is today. And so then you get a used set, but getting a used set's a huge risk unless you're doing it through Atlanta Brick Co., where you don't know if all the pieces are there. And then, even if the pieces are there, are they clean? And then, are they clean? Okay, but so that Hailfire droid, right? When you put that together, it should rotate. Like it's like treads. It's supposed to roll around. Mine doesn't roll around because it's just so old and the pieces have become so worn that it's just like stiff on it.
Yeah, I've had some experience with older sets that are like that. I'm trying to think.
It's just unfortunate.
I think it's the Garmatron from Ninjago I got used, which is a 12-year-old set now, 13 years old. And it has treads on it, and they don't really roll super well. So like that's just something that like if you want a good set to play with, you don't want to get an older set at this point
It's
because
just too old. And then
Yeah.
figures have been cracking because of the old colors that are just brittle. And it's just all these issues. And it just, I still love old Lego, but it's just, it started to sour a little bit. Just the difficulty of dealing with it.
yeah. Well, and the problem is, modern Lego. There's not much I really want right now, honestly, and the ones like I do kind of want are mad expensive, where I could never justify buying them.
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty, at least for me and you, it's a pretty weird place to be in as a Lego collector when you kind of stop caring about the older stuff as much or stop enjoying it as much, because then you're left with like honestly the only Lego set I can tell you right now that I would go out and buy is the Dune Ornithopter. and that's about it. I can't think of any other sets that are out. Actually, okay, I've been getting into the modulars, not like by buying them, but I just keep coming back to them, man. Like there's just something about them that I really like, and those are ones that especially after going to New Orleans, which is weird. Okay, you asked if I had any Lego stuff on the trip. About like 10 times I thought of the Jazz Club modular while I was there, because jazz is just everywhere there, and it just made me think of it. So, and the Tudor corner they just released reminds me of London, which I went to last year. So I think I might start just becoming a modular fella and just really nothing else, unless something really piques my interest, like the new Star Wars sets that we're gonna be getting this summer. I don't know. Is there any of those that you're gonna get actually? That's something I'd be curious
I'll let
about.
them come out and then I'll decide.
There's none that like just by the fact that they're making like a Jango Fett slave one
Nope.
that you're interested in.
If it looks good and I think it's cool, then maybe. The only Star Wars set I want right now is the Onyx Cinder, but that's literally just because
I thought you were gonna get that.
I hopefully will at some point, but it's a lot of money.
Did you end up buying that adventurer set that was like 150 or something?
You're talking about the Chinese temple?
Yes.
Oh God, no! I really want that, but the store near me never ever apparently got it, or they kept it, or something. But they stole it from me, man. They stole it from me, Carmen. They stole it. That was today. Do you know that meme?
No.
Oh wait.
Well,
cut that out.
I vaguely know it. I don't know what it's from.
It's Tobey Maguire. Anyways, no, the Chinese temple. I really want that set, but never came to the store near me, so still on the hunt for that. But something we haven't talked about on the podcast was, I think about a month ago in early January, we had an entire fiasco purchasing the 2009 Tantive 4.
So basically, I found it really cheap on our marketplace sealed. What was it? Like, what was the initial listing? What was it? They were asking like
280.
what, 270 or something? 280?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I offered them 230 or 240. Is that?
Yeah, you offered
I
you offered 230. Then they said 240.
Yeah.
You guys met at 240.
Okay.
And well, this all stemmed because Aidan knew that I'm trying to collect all the 10th anniversary sets, and he found that listing over where he lives in Colorado, and I was like crap. This is a good enough deal that I feel like I would have to take it. So I told him if he can get it, I'll pay for it, and he can ship it over. So you end up getting it, right?
Yep.
Completely
And
sealed.
then-
Perfect condition, by the way.
Yes. Well, and part of the reason I had actually debated on just buying it and keeping it for myself. But man, like spending that much on a sealed set, and like if it was like a scam, I was like, I don't know, man. Like buying sealed sets on marketplace sketches me out sometimes. So and then you were like, yeah, I'd actually be interested. And I was like, all right, I'll let you take the risk. So I bought it from them. They actually seemed very legit. Like they were like, if you have any problems, just let me know. And they didn't block me afterwards. So I felt pretty good about it. Because my brother has had some experience with Facebook scammers, so I know what to look for and see now. But then we went through the process, or at least I went through the process of trying to find a box for that thing. And man, that was a pain in the butt, because I went to Walmart. There was nothing nearly big enough. Because how big would you say that box is? Like 2 feet? 2 feet long?
I mean, I don't know how to compare.
I think it's over 2 feet, actually.
It's a massive box.
It's pretty big. Like it's as big as modern day $500 sets.
Yeah, like if you get a modular, it's the same size as that box wise.
No, I think it's bigger than a modular box, because I have a modular box.
I don't have any modern modular box.
No.
It's a big box.
It's a big box. Anyways, that's what we're trying to get at. So I went to Walmart and I went to a few other places and I couldn't find it. So I had to go to the FedEx store and pay like what, $9-10 for a box. I don't even remember what it was. I was like, all right, this is adding up. And then I told you how much shipping was gonna be when I ordered it, or when I paid for shipping. And this kid thought shipping must be like $5 or something for a box this massive. I think it's like $20 or something. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it was like 20.
Yeah.
I think it may have been slightly less, but it was
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, and then he started complaining about it, and I showed him how much they were going for on eBay. I was like, "You're still getting a fantastic deal." But anyways, this is where my part of the story ends because I sent the box off, and I was like, "Well, it's not my problem anymore." So how was your experience with it after that?
So it arrived a day early, which was awesome. I actually have footage of it on my vlog for channel members on my channel.
Nice plug.
Thanks. Thing arrived perfectly. Aidan insulated it with old homework, which was really funny because
Oh, really? I didn't even remember that.
I unfolded multiple things and it was just like science sheets. It was just like, what is the powerhouse of the cell? And I'm like, what? And boy,
I did a beautiful job in wrapping that
yes,
box, man.
you did.
You've got to give me props.
It
for
was
that.
amazing.
I spent like half an hour packing it.
It is the fact that was you got that for $240 in the condition that it was is incredible. And that set could have had a smooth-haired Leia and a Chrome Vader in it. Now it didn't, but it could have. So I love that set, by the way. I built it very soon after. Great set. Fantastic. I'm looking at it right now. It's a fantastic set. I'm so excited to talk about it. The figures were incredible. I only had one dark red piece break off, but at this point, whenever I build sets from 2008 forward, I order most of the pieces that are in brown or dark red on Bricklink because unless the set is mostly that color, it's typically only a few bucks. So I got every single dark red piece duplicated. And luckily for me, though, I didn't even need them besides one piece. And yeah, man, it's a great set. I'm really that was a fantastic transaction for me.
So the thing that stopped one of the things, at least besides money and other things, that stopped me from wanting to keep it for myself and telling you that I had found it was my one complaint with that set is the stickers, like the white on the stickers on the front of the cockpit, do not match
That's not
the
a sticker.
white on the plastic at all. Really?
It's
Is it printed?
Everything in that set is printed. There's no sticker.
Okay, well,
yeah, it's all printed.
that's actually crazy because it's pretty far off.
It's
from
extremely far off.
the white, and it bothers me like no other. So I'm glad you are enjoying that set because my
perfectionism
would not have it like that set in the condition it was. But
Yeah, but that was
so you have all of them now, right? All the 10th
Yep.
anniversary.
I have every 10th anniversary set. That video comes near you soon. I didn't say that right. Whatever. But I own all the 10th anniversary sets now, so I'm very excited to do that video. Hopefully it'll be fun.
Is there any other retrospectives you wanna tease you are gonna have down the line?
I have decided on currently working on Pirates 2009, Star Wars 10th anniversary, and SpongeBob. I know what retrospective I'm going to do after that now. I've decided, and I'm very excited. But I'm not going to say.
Oh, okay. You have to tell me afterwards.
I will.
I'm curious.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna on podcast make you an offer because I know that you've talked about this a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm actually ever gonna get around to doing the Pirates of the Caribbean retrospective. So if you wanted to, you could make one using my sets because that's one that I really want to see actually is you talk about those.
Do you own all the sets?
Yeah.
You own
Well, no, not all of them.
Oh.
I own all the ones from the first 3 movies, which I think
So
is
you'd
all that
still
really
need
matters.
the 4 ones from the new film and the one from the 5th film, right?
Wait, you want to do it on like every single one?
I mean, there's only like 9 sets from that theme. Oh, speaking of which, we should
Okay,
talk
never
about
mind.
that. We should
I'm
talk
out.
about that.
I'm out.
Well,
Oh, the new Black Pearl that's coming out?
yeah, we can talk about the retrospective thing later. Yeah, the rumored. Okay, so if you know anything about me and probably Aiden as well, as we said earlier, modern Lego is poodoo. But let me tell you, I've actually been very impressed by the rumors, like across the board for this up and coming year. Just to name off a few, we have the Krusty Burger from The Simpsons, the Black Pearl, which is crazy. We have Lego One Piece, Dragon Ball,
I saw that
and
the Lego One Piece ones are like there's like 6 of them
yeah, and then
too, right?
the last one I want to touch on is you did ask me about Star Wars. I don't know if I'm gonna get any, but the rumored list sounds really cool. I don't know if they will be good though. Like the Clone Wars MTT V19, like that's exciting. But yeah, this year's an issue I've had with modern Lego as of recent is I've not been a fan at all of their choices for themes. I feel like Lego's become very content with sticking Marvel, Potter, Star Wars, barely DC, and that's really, their bread and butter. And they don't really go outside of that. So when they announce, no, that it's officially announced that they're doing Lego One Piece. Now, I should clarify, I don't like really anime like shows all that much. I love anime films, but I've watched very few anime. I love the idea though. This feels like a step in like a very 2010s direction, if you get what I'm saying. Like it's an out there theme. I'm just like, whoa, that's so cool.
Yeah, like your Prince of Persia, Lone Ranger, those type of things.
And I'm just so, as a person that's not even a One Piece fan, I tried the Netflix, and these are based off the Netflix show, but I'm just so excited that Lego's trying something new that I at least view as like something that could be really cool. And I'm just very excited. I'm very excited to get a full play scale theme of just a new property.
Yeah, when's the last time they did a one off like that?
Avatar.
I can't even think. Oh, you're right.
But I don't like Avatar, and I think it's a stupid property.
Are they? Hey, you put some respect on Avatar's name.
No,
Or are you talking about the actual property or the Lego sets?
both.
Really? Okay, you're just mad because it's more popular than your Avatar.
Yeah, maybe. But
Yeah. Are they making sets for the third one? Because the third one comes out
I don't think
this year, I think.
I don't think so. I don't think the Avatar theme was
Really?
popular.
Interesting.
But let me tell you, like I said, One Piece. I want your thoughts on it, but I'm really excited for that one specifically. I think that's such a cool direction.
What is a One Piece?
Well, a One Piece, I don't know. So I watched like the first 2 episodes of the Netflix show a while ago, and I know the general basis of it is it's like this like fantasy type pirate world. It's like kind of mixed between.
Isn't there like a million episodes?
There's of the anime, yeah, but Netflix there's just one season, which is what these are based off
Okay.
of. Which gives me hope that we'll get Avatar sets. But anyways,
Keep dreaming.
I will. But Lego One Piece from the gist I've gotten is this like fantasy type world that it's not like quite like supposed to be old timey. It's like kind of mixed between modern and like the 1800s, kind of a mixture. And the main character, I think his name is Luffy. Oh my god, I hope people don't get mad at us. Can like stretch and stuff. And anyways, but the property is cool, and I just think it's a really cool. It's also cool that we're gonna get more pirate stuff in a way, and yeah. What do you think?
I don't know what to think because I literally have nothing to go off of the show. Like I think it's honestly, I think it's gonna sell poorly.
Ooh.
It just seems like one of those things. I mean, I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't think it's something. I mean, Lego's had niche licenses do well, but this feels like one of those niche licenses that gets one wave and it's done. Like if Indiana Jones can't survive
It's true.
in current Lego, I don't think One Piece is going to.
So the thing I will dispute you there is I think a lot of anime people that don't like Lego, which I think is a bigger audience than most people realize, is I feel like there's actually not that much crossover between those two audiences, but I think you could get a lot of people that love One Piece, the anime, will come out and buy this. I mean, anime is
I think
insanely popular currently. I I don't
yeah,
know if it'll sell well, but I'm not as pessimistic.
I think it'll be similar to what we saw with the BTS set in terms of its market run, where it sells out pretty fast in the U.S. for all of those fans, and then it continues steadily in foreign markets, but then you just see them on shelves
Hmm.
like at your local Walmart and Target all the time. I think it will have a very similar run to that. Now you said Dragon Ball Z, right?
That is rumored, and I believe that there may have been a leaked piece or something, but I'm pretty confident Dragon Ball is also rumored.
Is that one set or a full line?
There's no rumor it's probably going to be one set, but no matter what way you spin it, that thing's going to sell like crazy.
So I think that will sell better than the One Piece sets because I mean I knew what Dragon Ball Z was back in high school, even like, and I do not care about anime whatsoever. Sorry to you people,
You
including you, Brendan, I
people.
guess. You people. Yep.
Take a
You
shower.
anime lover. I mean, dude, I can't say anything. This is a Lego podcast. But anyways, um I I think that will sell better because that I don't I don't okay, I'm speaking out of like no actual knowledge on the subject, but from my understanding, One Piece is way less popular than Dragon Ball Z.
I would kind of agree with that. I know the other thing though is the Netflix show definitely popped off when it was there. But the issue with Netflix is a lot of times it'll pop off and then immediately go back into obscurity because people watch it for a week and then they're done. Um but I agree. I think Dragon Ball tends to. I feel like it's more of a pop culture thing than One Piece is by a pretty big margin. And the other thing is, I believe Dragon Ball will be like based off the actual cartoon versus One Piece being
Yep.
off of Netflix. So, um,
Well, and is there like a new One Piece season coming out at the same time? Because this stuff matters for like selling.
I have not heard anything, but I don't really pay attention.
Okay.
But anyways, I definitely wanted to cover those two things. I know we're not too big on modern Lego, like modern news, but I did think those two pieces were pretty interesting. And
I think the Star Wars sets, honestly, everybody's hyping it up like crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna buy a single one of them. Um,
I like
the
the
fact
ideas behind them.
I know. I agree with that. I think walking down the aisles and the shelves would be more interesting. And of course, like we say this about stuff all the time, and then we go out and like buy it. That's just like part of being a Lego fan is complaining that it's overpriced, but then still going out and buying it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I actually thought I was gonna buy the Arc 170, but I still haven't, and I actually don't know if I'm going to anymore. And but I never thought I would have bought the buildable R2D2, but I just bought it on a whim. So who even knows what I'll actually end up buying? But at least for what I know this summer, the V19 Torrent is the only one that truly intrigues me, especially because it's at a decent price. I think it's $60 or $70. And honestly, I'm in the rare camp of I wish the MTT was the episode 1 version. I like that a lot more, and I don't own any of the previous ones. Um, but the figures could say that's it. I also, what's the one that's gonna come with the Galactic Marines that everybody's super hyped about?
I don't. Ryan told me the name a million times, and I kept forgetting. It's just the
I
tank.
think it's UTAT. I could not care less that set's coming out. I think people only want it so bad because Lego didn't make it. I think
I'm excited for it.
that's the only reason. You're so excited that you don't remember what it was.
I just I'm excited for them to make a set they've never made before, so they can't mess it up and make it worse than the previous iteration.
Dang, this is the point we've hit.
The MTT, I agree. I prefer the episode like the brown version. I don't it doesn't matter to me that much. The MTT's always been one of my favorite vehicles. What matters to me is how many droids can actually come out of the rack. Um,
Hmm.
and so the rumor is this is disappointing. It includes 10 battle droids. I believe it includes one
That's
pilot.
not awful.
People are always like, "Oh,
I mean, how many battle droids do you want in that? Like, do you want 50? Like,
So the 2007 one came with 16. I don't need 16. I get it. 16 is an insane amount. The 2014 one though went really bad and came with 6. Like a droid carrier can carry more than the MTT. It was ridiculous. I think they should have went for 12. I think 12 is the perfect amount. You can have 6 on either sides of the MTT. But honestly, the biggest thing is also how does it look? The size of the tank doesn't even matter to me that much. It's literally just the main function. The 2014 one, all the battle droids just stood there. It looked awful. They need to be able to like fully fold down. Like that's part of the gimmick.
so I can almost guarantee you, because is the battle pack that's out right now, I'm assuming is still going to be out when the MTT drops. They're not going to retire that. And because of the Commander Bly Troopers battle pack that's coming out, I can guarantee you it's going to have space for more than 10 because Lego's going to want kids to go out and buy
I wouldn't
those
even care.
battle
I'd be
packs
thrilled.
to fill it out.
I might buy it if it literally could fit a full like 12 to 14 droids. I would literally go out and buy it probably. Because I love.
Oh,
the
I'm not.
MTT.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
But anyways,
There is one more set rumor I want to talk about actually. If you're gonna move off of it.
yeah. What's up?
So, Lord of the Rings is actually something I really like, and I don't talk about a lot on here, mostly because Lego doesn't make enough of it.
Well, that might be
I want the
changing.
Rivendell set. Exactly. I want the Rivendell set so badly, but I just can't spend $500 on a Lego set right now. Because my dad would probably kill me for one, and for two, I need that money for.
And
other
then
things.
you would.
But
kill
anyways, and then I would kill me when I check my bank account afterwards. Although I'm thinking about selling all my stock because of the whole DeepSeek thing. But anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But the bag end set that comes out, I think April. Is that right?
I don't know.
That's one I'm really intrigued with.
specifically, but can I add on to this rumor, and
Yes.
I think I might be imagining this, but I swear to God, I remember someone posted something about it. And even if they didn't, this is just a very wise prediction. The Lord of the Rings D2C sets have proven to sell well. Very well.
Yep.
There's more Lord of the Rings movies coming out. There's a Gollum trilogy. I can almost give you 1,000% guarantee we are getting a full wave of play scale Lord of the Rings sets again. Guarantee it. I feel like there was
I don't
a
think it
rumor at
would
one
be
point.
this year though.
I think
I feel
it'll
like it'd be next year.
Yeah, I'm not saying this year, but I'm saying I'm extremely confident that we are going to get more Lord of the Rings sets, and those are sets I might buy if they come out.
When does the Gollum movie come out?
I can look it up. Computer powers activate.
Because I bet you, okay, it's 2026. So I bet you that's when we see them come back because they did the same thing for the fifth Indiana Jones movie for one.
Did it with Potter.
They did it with Potter. They did it slightly with Pirates of the Caribbean when the fifth one came out. It wasn't a full wave, but also like Pirates of the Caribbean was not getting any sets at all.
Yeah.
When that happened. I'm trying to think of any other examples, but I bet you 2026 we get a Lord of the Rings full wave.
And like I was saying earlier, one of the reasons I don't buy modern Lego is just they don't make stuff that interests me, and when they do, I do buy it, like Lego Jaws. Lord of the Rings would interest me. I specifically have not watched those movies because I'm fearful that if I do, I'm gonna want to buy the sets, and we don't need that.
Yeah, those are kind of expensive.
But dude, I would love to get new like play scale Lord of the Rings sets. Like that's like a dream come true because it just feels like it feels like Indiana Jones coming back in a way, even though I don't care about Lord of the Rings nearly as much. It's just a theme that's so cool that I don't think Lego would do bad by.
It's also one of our childhood themes coming back
Mm-hmm.
because like Indiana Jones was around when we were kids, Lord of the Rings was, so that's why it would also be kind of cool. Like it was really cool when I got to walk into Targets and just see Indiana Jones sets on the shelves. Like that kind of took me back
Yeah.
to when I'd go to the Lego store and I'd see the motorcycle chase set there. So that was cool for
When you
me at
saw
least.
all three.
All three of it. I still need to build the. Actually, I think I'm gonna build it tomorrow. The biggest set from the new Indiana Jones waves. I don't. It's the Temple of the Golden Idol. Is that the official name of it?
Yeah, it's a good set.
Okay.
But
yeah, I'm gonna build that soon.
I'm also excited for the Shire set that you were talking about. I think I might buy it, but how much is the rumored price?
That's the other thing. It's gonna be expensive, but
It's like 200.
and I already
or
have the
300.
the old Hobbit hole, so that's why I just want to see it more than anything. I'm like really excited to just see it,
Mm.
more than anything.
Oh, so I guess we should also touch on the rumored Black Pearl. And let me tell you, this is another
Mhm.
one that I'm so hyped about because I like Pirates of the Caribbean. I hate the original Black Pearl. And I'm almost 100% if this set is under 300, I'll probably pick it up.
Oh, it ain't gonna be under 300, buddy.
Uh,
There's no shot.
I hope it is.
There's no shot.
Are you excited? You're a big Pirates guy.
But I'm not.
Oh.
I'm kind of actually a little PO'd because I held off on buying Ethan's stupid 80% complete Black Pearl for like 2 years, and then I finally buy it, and then like 3 months later, this rumor drops, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Um. So depending on how good it is, I might just sell the old one and buy this one, even though it's gonna tank the value of the old one. This is the part that sucks about collecting old sets is like when a new set comes out that you would usually just be like, oh, this is really cool. It's from something I like. Now I'm like, dang it, this is just gonna kill the value of the old one I have. So I'm not as excited as you probably, but if it's really good, do we know the figures for it too? That's the
We
other thing.
don't, but we know it's like 3,600 pieces, 3,100 pieces. It's a lot. It's going to be a massive set. And I really hope it leads to us getting a Flying Dutchman ship.
That would be really cool. That's something I would consider buying.
Um,
Also, I figured it out. The bag and set is gonna be around $200.
Ooh, yeah, I'll probably pick that up. See? W Lego. Lego's so goated.
You haven't even seen Lord of the Rings.
I've seen Lord of the Rings. I just haven't seen it in a while. I'm just saying Lego's
Okay.
not so bad, maybe. Maybe we shouldn't have said those
Yeah.
things.
Maybe. No, they listened to our podcast and they locked in. That's what happened.
They're like, dude, we gotta impress them. I see the thing about the Black Pearl. What you just said, though, I don't personally feel the new indie sets came out, and I still was like, well, I want all of them. But I enjoy having the old ones and the new ones. I think it's cool to own both.
I think it's also different for that because like, what good is two Black Pearls for me? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. Like,
I guess you don't if
it's-
you don't love
it's
the
kinda
property as
goofy.
much. Like Indiana Jones, my favorite
Yeah.
property almost ever. So I guess like there's a different level.
Well, and part of the reason I only bought it is because I already have all of the figures for the set. So I was like, might as well just get the actual set. Although I still need to buy some of the pieces, so maybe this will help the price of those pieces come down. So
Yeah.
it could work out.
Um.
But
Last modern Lego thing I want to touch on, is and you probably won't have much to say about this, but they are making another Lego Simpsons set. That is really cool.
I know Simpsons. I know more than you think.
Oh, I didn't know you liked it.
My brother and my dad are huge into it, and when I went to Universal last year, there was a ton of Simpsons stuff everywhere. So, I know some now.
Well, I'm very
You said it's the Krusty Burger?
yeah, I'm extremely excited. A little confused, but I'm extremely excited. While ironically, I really don't love the old Simpsons sets. I think they're really dated and really not that good anymore. And I own one of them. I love the property, and my only thing is I'm confused why they're doing so. Krusty Burger, in the context of the show, for those who don't know, is just the restaurant they go to a lot. It's the McDonald's. It's relatively, it's honestly one of the lesser locations out of the stuff they could have done. But I am still really excited. It's going to be really cool. I really hope they don't do the black box art. Oh my god, I hope they don't do the black box art for a cartoon set.
It's happening.
Ugh. Um,
Do we have a piece count or a price for it?
$230.
Yeah, it's gonna be black box art.
But I'm very excited for that. I hope this leads to them remaking the Simpsons house because that set is not that great and they need a remake. But yeah. Okay. Do you want to move on to any other things or should we move on to our last topic?
I realized there's one rumor we didn't talk about. Well, I kind of mentioned it for like 5 seconds.
Go for it.
But the Jango Fett Slave 1,
Oh, yeah.
have you been keeping up to date with that?
Yeah, me and Ryan
So-
talked about it.
They're making a UCS one and a playset one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is fascinating because I don't know, have we ever seen that before where it's in the same like span of like 3 months where a set gets a UCS set and a playset?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
It happens with polybags all the time. Like you get the polybag and the UCS set. But I just think it's hilarious that they haven't made it for 23 years and then they make 2 in 1 year.
Yeah. Well, so I think it was me and Ryan were talking about this at Atlanta BrickCon, or maybe it was someone else. I don't know. Someone was talking to me about this and they were like, "Oh, what do you think of that?" And personally, I think it's great. Jango Fett Slave 1 is so much in demand that like my biggest issue is they should have released the frickin' set 2 years ago, but whatever. I'm excited. I will buy the Jango Fett Slave 1 if it's better scaled than the 2021 Slave 1. The tiny one.
Talking about the playset one, right?
And
So I think this is kind of stupid by Lego.
Oh.
Because like me, my most wanted set as a kid was the 2002 Jango Fett Slave 1. So for me, this is a set I'm actually considering getting because I can vicariously live that out without having to spend $600 or whatever that set is now. So if they would have just released the UCS set, I would have been like, okay, let's actually just spend the $250, get this, be my first UCS set, be a really cool one. But now that the smaller one's coming out, if it's designed well and it has the exact same figures and it's like not the size of my toe like the last Slave one was.
Yeah.
Also, it's fully gonna be named Jango Fett's Starship. Just be ready for that.
I would rather them just name it Jango Fett Ship.
Yep.
Or
Starship
like if they include Obi-Wan, they could call it like Django Attacking or something.
Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, that'd be pretty funny. Do we have a price count for the smaller one?
A piece count for the smaller one, it is, I believe it's around like 230 more pieces than the small one. But it's like okay, so basically it's in between the 2021 Boba Fett's and it's in between the 20th anniversary Boba Fett's one. You remember those two sets?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, if it's designed well, I'm getting that one. So
but the issue is
what I kind of derailed myself, but this is really stupid by Lego because it's taking one market segmentation and introducing two products into it. Like, yes, there's the kids who are not going to be able to afford the UCS set and the Jango Fett Slave 1. So I don't get why they're not just releasing the UCS one this year and then waiting a full year for the next one. Because I guarantee you there's people that are going to hold off buying the UCS one because they know the smaller one's coming out. So, or people who would have bought the small one and then the UCS one in a year are now probably only going to buy the small one. So they're really killing, I think, some of the market that they could get from it.
I agree that it's really weird. I don't personally have an issue with it. I don't even like the UCS Slave one, honestly, all that much. And I know that's a crazy hot take.
Yeah.
But I'm thrilled they're making a play scale one. As long as it's bigger than the 2021 Starship, I'm very excited for it. And it'll come with another Kaminoan.
Are they coming out in the same wave?
I think UCS sets always release a little bit after.
I thought the UCS one was the May 4th UCS set.
Then yeah, this will come out the summer. I believe. I think.
Okay, it's $70 with 707 pieces. Yeah, this is perfect because I don't have to spend $250 now to get a Slave one. So like, I'm actually glad they're releasing a smaller one. I just think they're costing themselves profits by doing it this way.
The issue though becomes there is one scary rumor. And it's if they're using 200 of those pieces to build like a little Camino side area, and the Starship really is the same size as the 2021 model.
Even then, you still get the figures for that cheap. So yeah, like it won't be as good, but like there's people who probably would have just bought the UCS set because they really wanted the figures. But if like it's the exact same figures, I don't know, man. Like
There's one more thing I want to talk about before we get to our final topic, and so you know the Coruscant Guard gunship, right?
Yep.
What do you think of the, like, take away the colors? What do you think of the model?
Can't the troops not even stand in it without being like knocked over?
They
by
can.
the
It's
door?
extremely difficult to get troops in there, though.
Yeah, I mean, immediately it sucks. Like as a kid, the whole cool part of the gunship was that door thing. Like even if you screw up some of the, I've never like been a guy who's like, oh, everything needs to be exactly accurate on a Lego set. I'm like, no, it's not a 1-to-1 scale model. It's a caricature of the actual thing. So the doors opening in the wrong way, yeah, I would prefer it open in the correct way, but I can live with that. But the fact that you can't actually put the figure in and have it stay standing and it just gets knocked over, like that's the whole point of the gunship. So yeah, taking away the colors and everything, that's a no-go.
I owned the set for a little bit. I hate that set. I think it was one of the worst remakes of all time. The colors is a major part of that, but also I don't even care the fact that it's one door. It's the fact that it's one door, but it makes playing with it hard. That's where we have an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the same exact issue with you. But like, it's so difficult to get more than like 3 figures in there. And the whole entire point of the gunship is to carry troops. But the point is, I have had a change of heart. At Atlanta BrickCon, one Mr. Solid Brick Studios waltzes on in, and he's bringing with him a version of that gunship, but with the normal clone colors. And he's like, oh, I like this gunship. And I'm like, that's crazy. He's like, well, look at my modifications and tell me if this release you'd like it. I'm like, sure. He added a second door. Game changer, dude. You could actually access the interior now. Like, you could get inside, put the figures in, and like you had like it still wasn't huge, but you could legitimately get in there and like play with it. So having the 2 doors, which by the way was perfectly sturdy and everything, game changer.
Yeah, and I think I'm not somebody who's like, my Lego sets need to come the way they are straight out of the box. Part of the fun is modding the set to what you want, for me at least. So if it was like I just had to make that one modification, whatever. But there's just so many other problems with the set that I'm like, nah, I'm good. And I don't really have a desire to own it whatsoever.
I still don't love it as much as the older gunships, but he brought it in with the colors switched and that the door modification. Those 2 things changed it. He also put bubble turrets on it. Those 3 things, and I was like, if they released this, I would have been all right. Like, it still wouldn't have been my favorite, but it would have been okay. But anyways, that's all.
It really makes you wonder, like, why they don't just do those changes. Like, there's no way in the process nobody brings any of those things up.
I don't know.
And I wonder if it's like a budget they impose on the designers. Like, I would just love to talk to the people who work there and be like, hey, did you think this was going to be a problem? And if you did, why didn't you fix it?
You'd love to talk to a Lego designer?
Well, maybe we'll have that opportunity in a couple months, but
okay. So, with all this being said, this crazy podcast, something popped up literally like 3 days ago. I get a text from one Aidan or Adore Your Lego Studios, and it's literally just, hey, can I come over to your house in 2 weeks?
Okay, we had talked about it before then. Don't.
Oh,
I guess it sounds like a cooler story, so we can pretend that we hadn't. But yes, I just texted him. Well, actually, I had texted you dates a month ago that were like late March, I think.
mm-hmm.
And then I was looking at flights either yesterday or the day before that, and I found round trip tickets for like $100. So I texted you. I was like, "Hey, are you doing anything on these dates?"
Yeah, and so you are now officially coming on over to the Chatterblocks household for a few days. We're gonna hang out, have fun.
Yeah, we really don't have any plan whatsoever on what we're gonna do, other than we're probably gonna try to record a podcast live, actually. So
That'll be fun. I don't know
that'll be
what
kinda fun.
that's gonna be
That'll
weird.
be fun. Yeah.
Um.
Can your mic record two ways, or is it a one-way mic?
Oh, my Yeti? Yeah, no, it can do both ways. So if we
Okay.
put it in between us, it should theoretically pick up the audio.
Okay, because there's no chance I'm fitting my mic in my Frontier backpack.
So maybe that podcast will sound a little weird, but I think that'll be a lot of fun. And
Yeah, it'll be
we'll
fun.
we'll definitely hit Atlanta Brick Co at some point. I'm already preparing to sell some big stuff. So
Really, I'm trying to think of what I can fit in because I'm not bringing a carry-on. So I'm trying to think of, like, if I can even fit anything in my backpack other than like clothes,
you gotta.
to try and trade.
Do you still have store credit?
I don't think so. I think I always spend it all when I go because I don't know if I'll ever be back. So
Well,
I'm always like, let's just spend all of
if
it.
you want to sell anything, the figures are where's the money at, anyways. So
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to survey the Lego room.
But is that it? Is that everything?
Well, next podcast, yet again, last time we said this, we never released an episode for like 6 months, but we should hopefully have a guest on the next one if everything goes well and according to plan. So
Yeah, we're just gonna keep saying we're gonna have a guest on till we eventually have a
yeah,
guest on.
and then eventually it will happen, or I'll just talk in a different third voice and pretend I'm a guest.
Yeah, like
So.
hi ho, Kermit the Frog here.
I would love to see you do that for a full podcast.
Hey Kermit, what's your favorite Lego set? Oh well, the 2008 Death Star. Hi ho. That's just
Kermit, what's your thoughts on the $1,000 Death Star coming out?
overpriced as. I'll have to censor that. All right. Well,
Anyways.
it's been a great time. We've had laughs. We've had fun. Hopefully, we'll record in less than 3 months. But
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.